Welcome to the Wheeze.
Wheezy.
F baby.
So we're doing Gabby Petito, right?
Gabby Petito.
Gabby Petito. So like I said, I don't know much about her case. I know.
Well, you about to find out, baby.
Yay! Let's
If I can
do
open my
this,
luggage bag.
baby. Okay, so we're giving a shout out to Glitched Reality. It's a podcast that
Hell
one of
yeah.
my friends do, and it's really professional. It sounds really good. It sounds really awesome. And I would go check it out on Spotify because it's Glitched Reality is the name of the podcast, and it makes our podcast look sad because it's all like super duper professional sounding and stuff. And I listened to it and I was like, bro, you're gonna like die when you hear it. Yeah, so y'all go check out Glitched Reality. And also, he gave us our first 5-star review.
Ooh,
Hey.
Yeah, so we got a 5-star review,
our
guys.
only
Woo!
review.
Did you give him a 5-star review back?
Did I? I don't even know if I did. Yeah, he's had like 58 5-star reviews. So.
Well, fuck. Well, woo.
He doesn't need
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah, because I was like, man, our janky little podcast ain't crap compared to yours, dog.
5 stars.
But, anyways, so that's a shout out. Everybody go check out Glitch Reality. It's really cool. I've listened to a few episodes. It's sci-fi horror, fantasy type stuff, and it's pretty interesting.
How is it? So, you say sci-fi horror, right?
Yeah.
Right. How do you make a sci-fi horror podcast? Like
So
sci-fi
so
as
it's
in
kind of like,
science fiction.
so like,
I guess you gotta listen to it and find out.
yeah, you gotta go listen to it and find out. Basically, what he does is like, you know how people will read like creepypastas and stuff?
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. All right, so in August 2021, 22-year-old American woman and traveling vlogger Gabrielle Venora Petito was killed by her fiance Brian Christopher Landry. Is it Landry?
Laundry.
While they were traveling together on a van life journey across the United States. The trip was planned to last for 4 months and began on July 2nd, 2021. But Petito disappeared on August 27th. Dun dun dun. After Petito's disappearance, Laundrie raised suspicion when he drove the van from Wyoming back to his parents' Florida home and refused to discuss her whereabouts. He was deemed a person of interest in the case, and an arrest warrant was issued on charges of his making unauthorized withdrawals using her debit card. He left his home on September 13th and was reported missing 4 days later.
Ooh.
On September 19th, Petito's remains were found in Wyoming's Bridger Teton National Forest. An autopsy found that she was killed by blunt force injuries to her head and neck and manual strangulation. After a manual strangulation, I've never heard that before. Like, I get that she was strangled with the hands, but I've just never heard manual strangulation. Anyway, after
like there's
a month,
automatic strangulation.
yeah, it's automatic strangulation, bro. See, like what I did was I hooked the pantyhose to my car tire and just turned it on, and it kept going. After a month of speculation around Laundrie's whereabouts and an extended search of the area around his home, his skeletal remains were discovered in Florida's, I can't even say, Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. I'm going to say that that's what it is. On October 20th. It was confirmed by autopsy on November 23rd that Laundrie had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, and the FBI later announced that he had admitted to killing Petito in his notebook, which was found near his remains. The case gained widespread attention due to the couple's documenting of their travels on social media, leaked police body camera video footage, 911 emergency dispatch call recordings, eyewitness accounts, and actions of Laundrie's parents, and the extensive media coverage.
Gabrielle Verona Petito, born March 1999, was born and raised in Blue Point, New York. She had 6 younger siblings and half siblings. In 2013, Petito and her stepbrothers appeared in a music video to raise awareness about American gun violence. In
Oh, she
response to
did?
yep, apparently so.
Awesome.
In
I didn't even
response
know that.
to the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. In 2017, she graduated from Bayport Blue Point High School in Bayport, New York, where she met Brian Christopher Laundrie. From September 2017 to January 2019, she lived in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, working as a hostess in the kitchen of a restaurant in nearby Wilmington. She applied to Cape Fear Community College but did not attend. She began
Where's
dating Laundrie,
Wilmington at? Is Wilmington
North
in North
Carolina.
Carolina?
Began dating Laundrie in 2019 and moved in with him and his parents in Northport, Florida. Why all these fucking ports? Oh my god.
They like ships, baby.
The couple worked at Publix in Northport, where she was a pharmacy tech and he was in the grocery department. Love that for him. They quit their
Damn.
jobs on the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. In
Damn.
2019 and early 2020, the couple embarked on a cross-country drive from New York to California. Along the way, they visited Las Vegas, Yosemite National Park, Pismo Beach, and other points of interest. In March 2020, Petito celebrated her 21st birthday in Nokomis, Florida, and she and Laundrie visited Soap Creek, Georgia in 2020, and the two were engaged the following month. So in July, they got engaged.
I mean, at least they
And
waited a
just
year. At least they didn't do like me.
at least you said
Right.
Yeah, I said it.
it.
I said I will talk shit about myself because I made a mistake. Okay, everybody, I made a mistake.
I made a mistake.
Yeah, I
I made
did.
a few mistakes.
I made a few mistakes in my life.
Same. Um,
So wait, so they were already doing the drive
so they
when they
just
were
like
getting married?
okay, so they weren't getting married. They never got married. They
Or I
just
mean,
were
but they
engaged.
were engaged. My bad.
Yeah, they went across. They drove from New York to California and then back to wherever they went, right? And
Oh,
then
so
they,
they made multiple. They did multiple trips then.
yeah. But then Gabby was like, you know what? I want to do a van life vlog, okay? And so then they started doing it again. They wanted to travel the country, go to national parks for 4 months.
They live
Didn't
in that
happen, babe.
vagabond life, like I said.
Yeah. So in December, Petito purchased the 2012 Ford Transit Connect van, converted into a camper in which the couple would take their next cross country trip. Ooh, you almost fucked me up there.
I was about to say you
Almost.
having trouble lives. Cross country trip.
To save money for the trip, she began working 50-hour weeks at Taco Bell. Fuck
Damn,
that.
a
First of
lot of
all, how do
fuck,
you get 50 hours at Taco Bell?
bro. You know how many
For one.
fucking burritos that she made in 50 hours? Good lord.
Amen. And as a nutritionist, okay, while Laundry took a job at an organic juice bar.
Excuse me. She was
What?
working 50-hour weeks at Taco Bell and was a nutritionist. How? Look, if I found out my nutritionist was working at
It
Taco
worked
Bell,
at
I would
Taco
not
Bell.
trust
That's what
them.
I say.
Excuse me, you work at where? And you're telling me how to eat? You make Crunchwrap Supremes for a living, and that's the most unhealthy thing ever.
Same. My other thing, okay, he took on one job while this bitch is out here working two
At an
jobs. So
organic
50
juice
hours.
bar.
Right, right.
This dude is such a hippie prick, or he was such a hippie prick. I'm gonna go work at a juice bar. Shut the fuck up, dude. The fucking fuck you, man. You're one of them fucking people that's like, you know, pomegranate juice can heal everything. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Make my fucking carrot juice and get the fuck on with your life, bro. You're a glorified Starbucks barista. Sorry. Anyways.
uh, anyways, Petito documented her life and travels on social media sites such as YouTube and Instagram, where she described her interests as art, yoga, and veggies. Your turn.
Man, these two people seem like real hipsters.
Yeah, that's what who else the fuck thinks would live in a van, Clint?
I mean, look, okay, I'm not gonna talk crap on Gabby Petito because she didn't deserve what happened to her. Just like
Amen.
they seem like hipsters, like her. Lord forgive me for saying this about a dead person, but her interest as art, yoga, and veggies, that is such a basic white bitch answer.
Art, yoga, and veggies.
Like I bet you she had string lights in her house and she had some vines and a couple of dream catchers. Like she on her Instagram, she probably had pictures of tiny pumpkins.
And she wore those, like, probably, those yoga pants. You know those yoga pants
Yeah,
I'm talking about. Not like
I was about to say,
actual
but
yoga pants, but like the hippie pants.
yeah, but I was about to say, but don't you wear yoga pants, Libs?
No, I don't wear yoga pants, for one. Rude. For two, I meant like the hippie pants.
Oh, you're talking about like the
The
bell bottoms?
patchwork pants. Well, they're joggers. They're like, they look like Aladdin pants.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The MC Hammer pants. The MC Hammer
No, he
pants.
doesn't.
Yeah, you're talking about
The
the
most
MC Hammer pants. They're like the
unconfident. I know what you're talking about.
no, you're talking about they're like new age parachute pants.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what Aladdin
But
pants
hippies
are.
wear
They're
'em.
just parachute pants, dog. Anyways, is it my turn or are you gonna read this next one?
No, it's your turn, baby.
Hang on, wait, whoa, I missed. Okay, so we're on the disappearance, right? Road trip.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Looking at her little creepy.
So underneath the picture it says Laundry and Petito traveled in a white 2012 Ford Transit Connect, similar to the one pictured here. Oh, so that's not the actual one they drove. That's just a picture of a Ford Transit Connect. All right, cool. Thanks, Wikipedia. Appreciate it. So, anyways, on June 17th, 2021, Petito and Landry visited her native Blue Point.
You got this? You got
No,
this?
it's wait, no, okay. So it's just worded weird. Sorry. On June 17,
Yeah.
2021, Petito and Laundry visited her native Blue Point for her brother's graduation ceremony. You see what I'm saying? How that's worded? Like it should be like her
Yeah.
native Blue Point home or something, but no. Okay. Anyways, on July 2nd, 2021, they left Blue Point in the Ford Transit Connect van for their trip. Later that month, they visited Monument Rocks, Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon National Park, Mystic Hot Springs, and Canyonlands National Park. I have no idea where those are except for Zion, because Zion, I think, is in Utah, isn't it?
Yeah, so is Bryce Canyon.
Okay, I didn't know
Mystic
Bryce Canyon
Hot
was in there.
Springs. Yeah.
Mystic Hot
Where's
Springs is
Mystic
there?
Hot Springs? I want to go there.
Why is it Mystic Hot Springs? Like, if I go over there, am I gonna be able to like read
So
minds and shit?
they started like at the bottom of Utah.
Uh huh.
And were working their way up, or they were, yeah,
I guess
because
I don't know,
Zion
girl.
is
I
by
don't.
Vegas. So we're starting at the bottom of Utah and we're working their way
So
up.
they started from the bottom. Now they're there. Anyways.
Yeah, baby.
Go with that.
Anyways, so domestic disturbance incident. On August 12th, 2021, a witness called 911 to report. Wait, so they started out in June 17th of 20. They didn't even make it out of fucking Utah before they had a domestic disturbance incident. All right,
They started
anyways,
in July.
or in July. My bad. No,
Yeah,
oh wait, yeah, they started in July. My bad. But they didn't even make it out of Utah before they had a domestic disturbance incident. Anyways.
same.
So on August 12th, 2021, a witness called 911 to report that a couple, later identified as Laundry and Petito, were fighting in front of the Moonflower Community Cooperative in Moab, Utah. Is it Moab or is it Moab?
It's Moab.
Moab, okay.
Yeah.
The caller said they saw a man slap a woman, after which the man and woman ran up and down the sidewalk. Then the man hit the woman again before they... I wasn't laughing because he slapped her. I was laughing because it's like she slapped her, then they ran up and down the sidewalk, like the way it's worded, and then he hit her again. And then the man hit the woman again before they drove off together. Another witness described the incident to police as looking like Petito and Laundry were talking aggressively. What does that mean? And that
Having
Petito
a
was
very
punching him in the arm.
a very
So
heated
wait, so wait, who
conversation.
was? So wait, he slapped her, and then she hit him back. Okay, so they were just fighting each other, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. The witness said it looked like Laundrie was trying to leave Petito behind and take her phone with him. Before they drove off together, she climbed into the driver's seat, moved over into the passenger seat so he could drive, and asked, "Why do you have to be so mean?" Officers from the Moab City Police Department, MCPD, identified the van driving erratically near the entrance of Arches National Park?
Yeah.
Okay. And conducted a traffic stop. They found Petito sobbing in the passenger seat, and the police body cam footage showing that she then told officers, "Yeah, I don't know if some days I have really bad OCD. I was just cleaning and straightening up back in the. I was apologizing to him and saying I'm sorry that I'm so mean because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I can get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him. My vibe is I'm in a bad mood, and I was just saying I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning, and I just now quit my job to travel across the country, and I'm trying to start a blog. I have a blog, so I've been building my website. I've been really stressed, and he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it, so we've just been fighting all morning, and he wouldn't let me in the car before." Man, that whole situation right there just reminded me of like Joe Biden in the back of my mind saying some shit. I got hairy legs. Anyways,
No, like, because it's like a direct quote from the body cam footage, like, because it was posted all over the news here, the
yeah.
body cam
And I
footage.
mean, like, I
And,
understand that
like,
she's upset, but just like the way she's just like, so she was
this girl
like,
was having a mental breakdown.
she's like, I was just cleaning and straightening up back in the. I was apologizing to him, saying I'm sorry that I'm so mean because sometimes I have OCD, sometimes I can get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him. I just, my vibe is I'm in a bad mood, and I was just saying I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I had so much work. I was like, like focus your thoughts and tell us what's going on. And like she jumps around so much when she's describing everything. Anyways, Petito first downplayed the physical altercation after the officer pointed out marks on her arm and face and told her, "Just be honest." She said that Laundrie kept telling her to shut up and grabbed her face, which caused an injury. Laundrie told the officer, "I said, let's just take a breather and let's not go anywhere and just calm down for a minute." She was getting worked up, and then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys from me. I was just trying to. I know I shouldn't push her. I was just trying to push her away to go. Let's take a minute and step back and breathe and see. She got me with her phone. Petito told the officer that she hit Laundrie first, and the officers and asked the officers to not separate them. In his report, one of the officers wrote, "At no point in my investigation did Gabrielle stop crying, breathing heavily, or compose a sentence without needing to wipe away tears, wipe her nose, or
Same.
rub her knees with her hands." That's weird. Anyways, the male tried to create distance by telling Gabby to take a walk to calm down. She did not want to be separated from the male and began slapping him. He grabbed her face and pushed her back as she pressed upon him in the van. So, I want y'all's guys' opinion here. Do you think she actually hit him first?
I think yes, because, like, I watched the footage, right? And, like, I think, yeah, she hit him first, but, like, this dude was a complete narcissist.
Well,
And I
yeah,
don't
no,
think,
like he's a narcissist for sure. See, the only issue I'm
I,
having with this whole thing is because so my question is, if she hit him, how did she hit him? Did she punch him, or was it a slap? Because in my
so
situation, if it was just a slap, then he shouldn't have put hands on her. Now, if she balled up her fist and punched him in the face, then
what I think is she was holding her phone in her hand, as you do. And, we
yeah,
have pretty big phones, right? So she
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
holding her phone.
Yeah, pretty big phone.
I'm just saying. So your
yeah,
whole hand is like engulfed with it, right? And she
yeah.
swung at his face with the phone in her hand, is what I think happened.
So see,
That part.
now this is my opinion. If I was in that situation and she swung at me with her phone, like using her phone as a weapon or just like swinging her phone with a weapon in instance, and she hit me in the face with her phone, then I may have punched her. Now, I wouldn't have murdered her or strangled her because that's not what I do. But like, I don't
Yeah,
know, because I've always,
I don't
I've
say
always,
punch. Okay, so like I feel like as a man, right? Like women are emotional, and this guy, he was like he wasn't like physically abusing her, but like he was mentally abusing her, and what she
yeah,
did was like
and see,
reactive
yes,
abuse, like she
and see, and
reacted
that's
to
what I'm
his
saying,
shit.
because like, so like, if I was in that situation and she hit me with her phone like that, I'm saying I may have punched her, not like I'm gonna beat the hell out of her, no, like I may, because if you're gonna swing in my face and hit me in my face, then I'm
Shove would
gonna
have been
react.
acceptable, but like punch, like, the
But
height
you
difference in
understand,
these two,
like I'm
like.
gonna react, and my first reaction is the swing.
The,
You know what I'm saying?
mm,
But the one thing, like with me, the one thing I've always told my son is you don't hit girls. I said, now, you don't hit girls. I don't care if they're slapping you, spitting in your face, whatever. Now, once the girl balls up her fist and punch you in the face, like like she's wanting to step up, by all means. Because I've told my daughter the same thing. I said, you don't ever let a man put your hands on you. You do what you got to do to defend yourself. I told her, I said, but if you're in a situation and he hasn't touched you or nothing like that, and you ball up your fist and you punch him in the face, if he hits you back, that's on you because you shouldn't have punched him in the face. You understand what I'm saying? But like, I also told her too. I said, but if anybody ever puts hands on you, you rear back and you knock the hell out of them. You know what I mean? But I always tell
well,
them too, don't start it.
I'm
Don't
indifferent
start
on
the
that
fight.
because, like, sure, a girl. So let's say if Laura punched you in the face, not
Yes.
that she could probably reach your face, but let's say she punched
Say,
you and just say,
Oh,
let's
you just
we're
calling her
just
short. That's
comparing
fucked
heights
up.
here, so we no, so you the audience can
see, she's
understand.
sour, okay? But we love her.
Okay, if Laura punched Clint in the face, would it be acceptable for Clint to punch her back? Yeah, because you punched her. She punched you in the face,
Yeah,
right?
that's
But
that's what I'm saying.
but you're a man. You're bigger than her. The size difference, right?
That's
The
what I'm
more
saying. Now,
acceptable
am I
thing,
saying that I
you would
would
just
go?
grab her,
Yeah, what I'm
right?
saying
Like
is now would I go full force and like beat the hell out of her? No. You punch me in the face one time, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna punch you back, and then I'm gonna back up. I'm not gonna keep wailing on you and shit like that. Like like 'cause I mean, like if it, like let's say if Laura was a dude and she punched me in the face, yeah, I would wail on his ass because that's a man. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Now, if she punched me in the face, I'm gonna clock her one back and then I'm gonna back up because I'm not gonna beat the hell out of a woman because yes, as a man, I am physically bigger and I am physically stronger, so I could beat the hell out of a woman easy.
right. But see,
Or I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. So
yeah.
why instinct to punch her when you can just not necessarily de-escalate the
Well,
situation, but like she
so
punched you, you can just push her away. She comes at
yes,
you, you can easily like grab her. Like you're bigger,
yeah.
you have
Now, what I'm saying
better
is that
upper arm strength.
if he continued to punch her, then no. But like him reacting to, because she said that she swung her hand, or like you said, what you think is she swung her hand with the phone in her hand, and he got hit in the face with the phone, right? So
Yeah,
like I'm telling you, that's why I said in that situation I may have punched her because that's just my reaction to getting hit in the face. You know what I mean? Now I wouldn't
right,
have continued to hit her. I would have backed up and put my hands up in the air and be like, "Fuck, I'm walking away." Don't now if she continued to strike at me like that, then I would continue to punch her. But
right.
if it ended right there, and I'm walking off. You know what I mean? So that's what I wasn't doing this to have a whole big debate about whether it's okay to hit women. No, I was just asking your opinion. You know what I mean? Like
Whether it's
what
okay
you
to hit
thought
You're
was.
like, yes.
No, I don't. Me personally, I don't think it's okay to hit women. I don't think at all. Now, like I said, now
right, but I
if a woman's gonna punch me in the face, yes, I'm going to defend myself. If that means me punching her back in the face, so be it. Now, I'm not going to continue to punch her in the face. You know what I mean?
right.
But like I don't agree with like because I mean I've had situations where I've had women spit in my face, slap me, push me, do all this stuff, and I never once
Same,
raised a hand to them because
same.
I'm not gonna do that. But if they ever cross that line and balled up their fist and punched me, like I always said, if you want to step up to me like a dude, I'm gonna hit you back like a dude. You know what I'm saying? that's how I've always viewed it. Now, am I going to continue to beat up on you? No, because if I was in a fight with another guy and I read back and knocked the shit out of him and it knocked him out, I'm not going to continue to wail on him if
Hello?
he's on the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Did he die?
No, like, cause I mean, like you've
Mid
seen
rap?
one. I was about to say you've seen one hitter quitter videos where you like put them to sleep. You know what I'm saying? If I hit someone hard enough to knock them unconscious, then I'm not going to continue to wail on them. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
but anyways, sorry, I will continue. I didn't mean to like spark a whole debate. That's not what I was trying. I was just asking y'all's opinion, really.
Right, but
Um,
no, like I feel like it wasn't a punch, it was like a slap while she had the phone in her hand. A
yeah,
swing, if you will.
yeah. I mean, and I could see, and that's what I'm saying now. Like, if it was her open hand, then he shouldn't have hit her. But like, with her having the phone and she's swinging with the phone, it's a foreign object in her hand, so I could see reacting and hitting back because you got hit in the face with an object. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, yes and no.
You know, like, cause like I can tell the difference between when a woman's gonna slap me with her hand or like when she has like a weapon in her hand. Which I'm not saying her phone was a weapon at the time, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, you have a different reaction when it's an open hand versus when there's an object in someone's hand, or at least I do. But of course, I've worked in corrections for a very long time and everything else, so like my mindset is kind of different when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
Right.
anyway, so Petito told the officer that she hit Laundry first and asked the officers not to separate. Wait, I read this already, didn't I?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, okay, my bad. So neither Petito nor Laundry wanted to press charges as a result of the incident, which was characterized by police as a mental breakdown rather than, as you called it, Libs, rather than domestic violence, which would have required an arrest. Wait, why was it a mental breakdown rather than a domestic violence? Is it because nobody wanted
Okay,
to press
so
charges?
well, it was they classified it as a mental breakdown because like she was clearly like very emotionally distressed and
Yes,
she did look like she was having a mental breakdown, and
yes,
because everybody was just saying like, "Oh, it was an
yeah.
accident, didn't mean to do it."
See,
They didn't really
See,
go
because
through with it.
in so that must be a Utah thing. Because I know in Texas, if that would have happened in Texas, you would have been arrested for domestic violence. Like, and actually, if y'all both admitted to hitting each other, then y'all both probably would have been arrested for mutual combat, is what it's called, and it would have been like a classy assault. Does that make
Well,
sense?
not only that, like the police were like being real. If you watch the footage,
Uh
the
huh.
police were being real buddy buddy with Laundry. So,
That's weird.
right. And
Um.
so they even like offered to put him up to, they separated him for the night. They put him up in a hotel room,
Uh
right?
huh.
Him up in a hotel room and
Yeah.
let the girl having a mental breakdown sleep in the van.
Huh. That's weird. But rather than domestic violence, which would have required an arrest, the police separated the couple, arranging for Laundry to spend the night at the Bowen Motel in Moab and for Petito to stay in the van. The MCPD
That.
later investigated whether or not its officers handled the case in accordance with the department's policies, and its chief of police took a leave of absence during the investigation. See, that's right there. That tells you they handled that shit wrong because to me, in my mind, it should have been domestic violence. Whether she
Right.
was
No, because she
arrested or
was
he was
very
arrested,
distressed. She was very distressed, and like
yeah.
they should have done more than just separate them for
Yeah,
the
that's what
night
I'm saying.
because
In
she
my
had a lot
mind,
of marks on her.
yeah. In my mind, it should have been considered domestic violence, which in the case, since she had marks on her, he should have probably been arrested. Does that make sense? Even though
Yeah.
she threw the first hit, she's the one that had the marks. Does that make sense?
Right. I mean, she was the
Obviously,
aggressor,
she
but
didn't hit him.
they had
Ob-
they had like phone calls of people calling in saying he was hitting her, and they still
that's
did
yeah.
nothing.
But see, that's the thing is that also, so in my experience, you can't always take the phone calls for people saying, "Oh, he was hitting her," because like she could have been hitting him before that and they didn't see that part. Does that make sense?
Right.
Um, but what I'm saying is for what it sounds like, she swung at him one time and then he continued to hit her. Well, I guess she hit him in the arm too, though, because they said that she was hitting him in the arm, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Slapping
mean,
him in the
so
arm.
yeah. So to me, that sounds like mutual combat. So to me, they probably should have both been arrested. Does that make sense?
Right. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because I mean that's the thing in Texas is if you were both attacking each other, regardless if it's domestic violence or not, like you have marks on you and she has marks on her, then y'all both get arrested because y'all are both equally at fault. Does that make sense?
Right.
Um, but I mean, if he didn't have marks on him, then maybe he should have been arrested because I don't know, like I don't know. That's a whole fucked up deal. But I don't think the officers handled it right at all, though.
No, you should like when we're done watching the footage, you can like everybody's like,
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
Like that even just reading this from Wikipedia, it sounds janky. It sounds hinky. Anyway, so am I reading this whole like disappearance area? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, this whole thing is you, baby.
Sweet. Okay. So last reported activities and sightings. On October 17th, Laundrie took a flight from Salt Lake City to Tampa, Florida, leaving Petito behind. Petito spent several days at a Fairfield Inn and Suites hotel near Salt Lake City International Airport, according to staff, and checked out on August 24th. It was later explained by the Laundrie family attorney that he made the trip to obtain some items and empty and close the storage unit to save money as they contemplated extending the road trip. That sounds real fishy. He went
Suspicious.
to obtain some items. What fucking items? What? Anyways, Laundrie returned on August 23rd on August 23rd to rejoin Petito and continue the trip. Petito's mother said that she last spoke to her daughter on August 25th and had been told that the couple were traveling from Utah to Grand Trenton and Yellowstone National Park. Where's Grand Trenton? I guess that's Wyoming. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's Wyoming.
Okay, and Yellowstone National Parks. On August 25th, the final post was made on Petito's Instagram account, which consisted of photos of herself taken in front of a butterfly mural outside of a restaurant in Ogden, Utah. On August 27th, Petito and Laundrie were filmed by CCTV at a Whole Foods store in Jackson, Wyoming. They arrived at the parking lot at 2:11 p.m. and entered the store at 2:14 p.m. before exiting at 2:30 p.m. and heading back into the van. After about 20 minutes of sitting in the van, they eventually drove away and got on Highway 89, the road north of Bridger-Tenton National Forest campsite at 2:56 p.m. This is the last footage of Petito alive. Eyewitness accounts of the couple thereafter were as follows. A witness said that on August 27th, between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m., she saw Laundrie and Petito together at Mary Piglet's Tex-Mex restaurant in Jackson Hole. Mary Piglet's, anyways, in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Per the witness, Laundrie was aggressive and had an argument, apparently regarding money, with the manager, waitress, and hostess. The witness said she later saw Petito return to the restaurant crying and apologizing for Laundrie's behavior. Restaurant staff confirmed via Instagram that the couple were indeed there. Another witness contacted the FBI to report the activities and coordinates of a slow-moving white van and a generic young white man. What? A generic young white man acting weird. Why'd they say generic for?
Okay. So would this not be considered like not necessarily racist, but like because
Yeah,
if
that
they
would
were
be
to say this,
racist. That is racist. Be like,
because
oh,
if
so
they
you
were
know
to
a
say
Ken
this
doll?
about any other
Like, hey, bro,
person,
so you know how Ken doll looks? Think about that, but like human size, driving a car. A generic young white. What the fuck does that even mean? What is a generic young white man? Anyways, acting weird near the Spread Creek dispersed camping area on August 26th, 27th, and possibly 28th. Oh, they may have been there 28th, but I don't remember. She posted a video on TikTok detailing her observation. According to the witness, an FBI agent said that her account tipped the FBI off to the correct location of Petito's remains. A woman said in a TikTok video that on August 29th, her and her boyfriend gave Laundrie a lift from an area near Coulter Bay Village after seeing him hitchhiking alone. She reported that Laundrie freaked out upon learning that they were going to Jackson Hole instead of Jackson, Wyoming, disembarking the vehicle at 6:09 p.m. near the Jackson Lake Dam, less than 30 minutes and 10 miles, 16 kilometers, after being picked up. The witness found it weird that Laundrie offered $200 for the ride and did not appear to be very dirty, despite claiming that he had been camping for days. What? He
Because
didn't
he said
appear
he's
to be.
been camping for days, right? So
But
if
like
you're
most
out there
places,
camping,
but they're at a national park, and I'm pretty sure national parks have public
right,
showers
right.
in
But
them.
even right, but I've been camping, and like even with the public showers, bitch, I still look like a bum.
But I mean,
My hair
that's
ain't getting
because
thin, you know.
you are a woman who has long hair, and I'm pretty sure Laundrie did not have long hair. I'm pretty sure he had probably like short hair like I do. He's a generic
Yeah,
looking
he
white
was
guy
like
apparently, so he
baldish.
probably what?
He was like baldish, like really short
Okay,
hair.
so see, if as a guy, if you're camping and you're baldish, then if you have a public shower, then you're not gonna look dirty. Does that make sense?
Okay, but like maybe the area he was at, but like also you have to think like he's in the middle of Wyoming, so maybe the area he was at was not necessarily one with a
Maybe.
shower.
Like I said, I don't know much about where they were at. I don't know much about this case or anything. It's just the shit that people are saying on this is fucking weird. Anyways, despite claiming he had been camping for days, another witness stated that she picked up Laundrie from the Jackson Lake Dam area at 6:20 or 6:30 p.m. on August 29, dropping him off at the entrance of the Spread Creek dispersed camping area. Laundrie offered gas money for the 20-minute ride, but did not want to be taken further than the entrance of the campground, which was several miles from the van.
So
According
she
to the
took him
witness,
back to where he just came from.
yeah, which was several miles from the van. According to the witness, Laundrie acted antsy about getting out of the vehicle as it got closer to the campsite. So, to me, it's probably like her remains are at the campsite and he took and hid her body somewhere. That's what it
Amen.
seems like to me, anyways. On August 27th, a text from I was about to say Petito's phone was sent to her mother, which read, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." Who the fuck is Stan? Anyways, the mess you're throwing out people here. The message raised concern for Petito's mother, who said that Stan was Petito's grandfather and that she never referred to him by his first name. The last message, sent on August 30th, simply said, "No service in Yosemite." Her mother expressed uncertainty about who sent these messages. I mean, well, obviously we know who sent them because she was dead by then, right?
Right.
On August 29th, Laundrie called his mother, and as their conversation was brought to the end, his tone completely changed. After that, Laundrie's father connected him back, and Laundrie told him that Gabby's gone and that he may need a lawyer. On September 1st, Laundrie. So wait, his family knew that he killed her.
We don't know. His family won't talk even to
It
like
sounds
till
like to me
now.
that they knew he killed her because if he says
Right, but
Gabby's
they won't
gone,
say that. And
look here.
he's dead. He's dead, so we
Yeah,
don't know.
look here. I'm just saying, if I called my dad and was like, "Hey, Cheyenne's gone and I need a lawyer," my dad would be like, "You fucking murdered her, didn't you?" Like my dad would ask me, you
Right,
know?
but they're smart. His parents are like, rich, smart people, right? So
Oh,
like that
oh, what you
being
saying? My
said,
dad's
like
not smart because he's not rich?
no, but like your dad
Damn.
would say
Do
it
I have to
on
hear
the
that, huh?
phone. Your dad would say it on the phone, like on the line, could be recorded. Whereas somebody
Actually,
else
my
will
dad
be
would
like,
probably just been like, "Come to the house and talk to me," and that would be the last thing that he said.
same. I'd be like, you dumb bitch.
Anyways, on September 1st, Laundrie returned alone to his parents' Northport home and Ford Transit Connect. The fuck is Ford Transit Connect? Oh,
In the
never mind. I misread that. I was confused. I was like, where the fuck is that at? But home in the Ford Transit Connect. On September 6th and 7th, he and his parents went camping at Fort De Soto Park in Pinellas County.
right,
So like he
right,
returned back to the house by himself,
yeah.
and they're all like, "I'm not gonna talk about it. I don't know what happened, bitch.
And then they
Don't
went
fucking lie to me."
camping
Yeah, and then they went camping. Like,
5 days later.
anyways, it's your turn to relive. It's investigation time.
Okay. My mouth's a little dry. I've been waiting. Anyways, the Petito and Laundrie reported missing. On September 11th, after not hearing from Petito since late August, Petito's mother filed a missing persons report. Bitch, I would have filed it sooner than that. Four
Wait, she
days
waited
later,
until September 11th?
yeah, after not
Bitch,
hearing from her
when I
from,
got the strange messages on the fucking whatever day, I would have filed that shit.
right? Anyways, 4 days later, Laundrie was named a person of interest. His parents hired a lawyer and, based on his advice, remained silent and refused to talk to anyone about the case.
Oh, so his parents
Police.
aren't smart. His parents aren't smart. The attorney's smart.
Same shit. Police surveilled the Laundrie home and saw him leave on September 13th. 2 days later, they saw his car return. The police believe the person who exited the car and entered the home was Laundrie. Joke's on them. The following day,
Yeah.
Northport Police Chief Todd Garrison told reporters, "All I'm going to say is we know where Brian Laundrie is at." On September 17th, Laundrie was reported missing by his parents, who have claimed not to have seen him since September 13th. It was at this time that police realized they had mistaken Laundrie's mother for
What the
Laundrie
fuck?
himself
So
on
his mother
September
looks like a
15th.
generic white guy too?
Everybody does.
I guess. Oh shit. How do you mistake the mom for the son?
Right?
He grew hair
And
overnight.
how do you report your son as missing, right? Your son leaves in the car, right?
Well,
And
obviously it
then
wasn't
you
him that
come
left in the
back.
car.
No, well, no, he left the house in the car, right?
And
It
then the
was
mom
confirmed.
comes back by herself.
But then the mom comes back. She wasn't with him, but she came back in the car, right? And then they're gonna report he's missing.
Bro,
Bitch.
stop for a second. Stop. What if
So,
the parents fucking
stop.
murdered their son so he didn't say that he murdered her so it didn't make the family look bad? Bro,
You gotta watch out. They're
okay,
gonna
so he
tell you
left
next.
because you're telling me he left in the car and
Yeah,
then the car returned with the mom, but the son wasn't there.
yeah.
That bitch went out and fucking shot him in the fucking head and made it look like a suicide.
The mom made it look like a suicide.
Bro, I'm telling you, the family did it because you said that they were well off, right?
Yeah.
So they can't have a disparaging thing on their family name. So if he can't talk and he's
Well,
dead,
not
he
that
can't
kind
be
of well
proven
off,
guilty.
but
But I'm just
I
saying,
guess.
if he can't talk and he's dead, then he can't be proven guilty.
Clint, you're about to be next.
Probably.
He's gonna get us all taken out.
Sorry, my brain's just working because when you said that shit, I was like, bro, that's some sketchy shit. Because then he was dead, right? Because they found him dead.
Yeah.
Keeps repeating
Bro.
it. It was her. It was her.
I think the mom and the dad conspired
There
with
we
each
go.
other to fucking kill their son.
Right,
We're
because
dead.
listen to the first part one more time. Police surveilled the Laundrie home and saw him leave on the 13th. 2 days later, they saw his car return. Okay, they saw the car return and believed the
Yeah,
person who exited was him. Okay,
but
but
it
it
was
was
his
his bitch
mom.
ass mom.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
You say a fake ass mom.
So the mom went
Yes.
out. The mom went out. She murdered
Wasn't he
him,
like a skinny white dude?
and then came
Yeah.
back. Yeah. So that's what had to have happened. They took him out and fucking murdered his ass, and then she came back. She waited because it was like, oh, we're gonna take a 2-day trip. Nah, she went out, pulled a mob style hit on this motherfucker, and made it look like suicide.
Anywho, after obtaining search warrants, police seized the Ford Transit Connect, an external hard drive, and the Laundrie family's Ford Mustang from the Northport residence. Discovery of the Petito's remains. On September 19th, human remains matching the description of Petito were found at the Spread Creek dispersed camping area in Wyoming, not far from where the Ford Transit Connect was previously observed. Her identity was confirmed, and an autopsy determined that the manner of death was homicide by blunt force injuries to the head and neck with manual strangulation,
As opposed to
which
automatic strangulation. I think all strangulation is manual, don't you think? Even if you're like using a ligature, you still have to manually tighten the ligature. Anyways,
and no, you don't, baby. Not if we get a little hand crank. Not even a hand crank, a battery powered hand crank.
I mean, I guess maybe like hanging somebody from a tree isn't manual strangulation, maybe?
You still gotta push them.
I don't know. That's just a weird way to say that.
Which occurred 3 to 4 weeks before the body was found. So it was found on the 19th. So they're saying it happened late August.
Yeah.
Um, search for
August
laundry.
27th to be exact. Anyways.
Thank you.
Search for laundry and discovery of remains on September 23rd. Damn, a whole how many days after he went missing? He went missing on the
10 days?
15th. Right. On September 23rd, the United States District Court for the District of Wyoming issued an arrest warrant for Laundrie due to his unauthorized use of, just for the unauthorized use of her debit card,
Not murder or nothing.
to
Okay.
obtain $1,000 or more between August 30th and September 1st. The FBI took materials and matched Laundrie's DNA from his home. On October 5th, an interview with ABC News, Laundrie's sister encouraged him to surrender to the authorities. 2 days later, Laundrie's father joined investigators in searching for him at the T. Mayberry Carlton Reserve in
See,
Sarasota County.
they fucking murdered their son. They had to have because that serial killers do that. Or killers do that. They like, oh, I'm gonna help look for the body, even though they know where the body's at. Because what's her name did
Anyways,
that with their daughter.
just wait. It gets better, Clint. It gets better.
Oh
Okay,
my God. Okay.
In Sarasota
He's gonna
County,
freak out.
Florida.
He's about to freak out.
Yeah.
Focusing on areas he used to frequent in the reserve and the adjacent. Well, I'm not even going to try to say that one.
It's Miyakahatchee.
Miyakahatchee Creek Environmental Park. On October 20th, Laundrie's skeletal remains and some of his belongings were found in the Miyakahatchee Creek Environmental Park in the area that had recently been underwater due to flooding. His
I
cause of
told
death
you.
cannot His cause of death cannot be determined by an autopsy, and his remains were given to a forensic anthropologist for further examination. On November 23rd, it was announced that the anthropologist had concluded that Laundrie died of self-inflicted gunshot
Bullshit.
wound to the head.
Bullshit. Bullshit. The fucking mom and
Anyways,
dad conspired to kill him.
no, it's not on here, but I watched the fucking Netflix
Also,
documentary,
didn't his like
okay?
mom and dad find him?
The mom and dad found him.
No
Clint, the
fucking
mom and
shit. They killed him. I told you.
They found his body. The police were searching for days, couldn't find it. But as soon as the mom and dad joined, the mom and dad find the body,
I'm
Clint.
telling you, the mom and dad killed this motherfucker.
And the notebook, they found the notebook or whatever too. Right?
Yeah,
So my
that's
question is,
this
was
next
the
part
letter in
here.
his handwriting?
The notebook was in his handwriting, yes.
But was the admission letter in his handwriting?
I don't know.
I
Just
bet you it
saying that
wasn't.
he
I bet you it wasn't. I bet you it fucking wasn't. I bet you these motherfuckers conspired to kill their son, and they fucking murdered him, and then threw his body in the river so they couldn't tell that it was murder. Because if you shoot somebody in the side of the head, like most people would do, if like you're gonna shoot yourself, you might shoot yourself in the side or put the barrel in your mouth or whatever. You know what I mean? If they did it
right,
that way, and then they threw the body in the river, oh, you can't tell that someone else was handling him because all the DNA is gone. These
right.
motherfuckers murdered their goddamn son. I mean, I'm not saying that like he didn't deserve it
Laundry
because he
case
did murder
solved
somebody.
right now.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it because he did murder somebody, but I guarantee you they didn't want the name to get disparaged, their family name to get disparaged anymore, so they fucking murdered him so he wouldn't be convicted of killing her.
And then here you are, chocolate chip, and now you're gonna get murdered too.
Probably. I mean, I'm still waiting for Casey Anthony to send me a cease and desist letter.
At some point.
Because
She'll come for
you know that Casey Anthony helped look for Kaylee's body too.
Here we go again.
She helped look for the body too. I'm not gonna go on a rant about Casey Anthony, but I'm just saying that these people killed their fucking son. Anyways, finish reading. Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
On January 21st, 2022, the FBI revealed that Laundrie's notebook, which was found near his remains, contained an entry of which he admitted to killing Petito and deceiving people, and that she was still alive via text messages. He was all officially blamed for Petito's death by authorities, and the investigation was closed. In June 2022, the Laundrie family's lawyer released the full notebook entry in which Laundrie claims that he killed Petito after she had fallen and injured herself. I ended her life. I thought it was merciful, and that is what she wanted. But now I see all the mistake I made. The note ends with his plans for suicide. I'm ending my life not because of fear of punishment, but rather because I can't stand to live another day without her. Okay,
He didn't
bitch.
write that fucking shit. He didn't
Really
write that
did.
shit. I want to see
Experts,
the rest of the
however,
notebook.
contended that
I want to
Laundrie's
see the rest
account
of the
does
notebook.
that Laundrie's account
Say
does
it
not
again.
match investigators' findings. Michael Alcazar from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice believed Laundrie was someone who doesn't want to own up to what he did and was trying to find justifications for the actions he did.
Laundrie was someone that got murdered by his parents. Is what it is. Okay, public interest. All right. The case sparked more public interest and coverage on news and social media than other missing persons and murder cases. The heightened interest was attributed to several factors, such as refusal by Laundrie and his parents to comment on Petito's whereabouts. The amount of content on social media documenting the couple's life, the video footage of the Utah traffic stop, the audio recording of the 911 call, the video posts by witnesses which provided a lot of publicity or publicly available evidence. The idea that those involved were a young, attractive couple in a romantic getaway gone wrong, the domestic violence incidents in their relationship, and increased interest in cross-country van dwelling trips. Cross-country van dwelling trips. Anyway, sorry, that just makes me fucking laugh. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the general increased interest in true crime and related entertainment in the decade leading up to... Oh, bullshit. Sorry. That makes me mad. They're saying, oh, well, people got interested in true crime, and that's why everybody started murdering. No, people were murdering before true crime. Ted Bundy wasn't interested in true crime, and he killed 35 women and did dirty, dirty things to their bodies. Anyways, true crime-related entertainment in the decade leading up to Petito's murder. There was a speculation that the case is linked to the murders of Kylan Chute and Crystal Turner, which occurred in Moab around the same time Laundrie and Petito were there. Why? Why is there speculation? They think Laundrie killed them too? I
Yeah,
don't even know who
maybe.
those two people are. Anyways, public involvement in the case included witnesses and others posting their observations and theories on social media. The protesters demanding answers outside the Laundrie home and a candlelight vigil for Petito in her hometown. And
Amen.
donations to the Gabby Petito Foundation established by her parents to support searches for other missing persons. The increased interest in the search for Laundrie and Petito led to the discovery of 5 bodies of other missing persons. While some posts on social media regarding the case were helpful in the investigation, many of them have been characterized as insensitive, unhelpful, motivated by potentially increased exposure or financial reward, or outright misinformation. The high volume of media coverage of the case was cited by some commentators as an example of missing white women syndrome,
Same.
a term used to describe the news media's disproportionate focus on missing persons cases involving young, attractive, white, upper-middle-class women or girls, while cases involving individuals who do not fit that description receive significantly less attention. Several outlets compared Petito's case to the approximately 710 indigenous people reported missing in or near the same location between 2011 and 2020, highlighting the stark disparity in media coverage. Joseph Petito, Gabby Petito's father, initially expressed discomfort with the term, but later recognized the disparities it underscores. He has since used his platform to advocate for greater attention to missing persons cases involving marginalized groups, notably through projects like the television series Faces of the Missing and the Gabby Petito Foundation. Well, I mean, they're not wrong. Like, that's why most of the serial killers back in the day, they didn't get caught because they were killing like prostitutes. So, like, if you're a prostitute, then you're considered the less than dead, and if you're a black prostitute, then you might as well just not even exist. You know what I mean?
Same.
Hello?
I
Hello?
said same.
Hello?
Did we lose him?
Hello?
Like, I wasn't hearing none of y'all. Like, I made a comment, and then it was, like, quiet.
We said hello.
Like
Oh.
50 million times.
Oh, I said that, what I was saying is that they aren't wrong
Yeah,
about
we heard
the,
you.
yeah.
You just didn't hear us.
Yeah,
You
well,
said same.
I didn't hear anything after I said that. It was just quiet, you know? But yeah, but I mean, that's the truth, though. Like, that's why, like, Gary Ridgway, for instance, he killed 49 women, and they were all prostitutes, and some of them were black prostitutes. You know what I mean? And it took them forever to find him because nobody gave a crap because they were prostitutes. You know what I mean? Which is fucked up. So, I don't know. Anyways, you gonna read about the lawsuits, Libs?
Yes. Let me pull the Wikipedia back up. Sorry, I
I
had to
mean,
go.
I can continue reading if you want me to. I
You
don't care.
can. Yes, you got this.
Okay. On November 17th, 2022, a wrongful death claim brought by Petito's estate against Laundrie's estate resulted in an award of $3 million. The recovery of this amount was doubtful due to Laundrie's minimal assets. Petito's parents sued Laundrie's parents and their attorney, Steve Bertolino, claiming pain and emotional distress because Laundrie's parents and their attorney withheld information regarding Petito's death. The lawsuit was settled after mediation on February 21st, 2024. Terms were not disclosed. In November 2022, Petito's parents filed a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Moab Police Department. They amended the complaint in 2023 to include allegations that Officer Eric Pratt admitted that he was aware Laundrie was a threat but decided to ignore the law, and that the department did not abide by its own lethality assessment protocol. See, I told you what they did seemed hinky. On November 20th, 2020, on November 20th, 2024, the judge dismissed the lawsuit, citing the Governmental Immunity Act of Utah, which that's bullshit, provides for sovereign immunity, though he acknowledged the case met the early standard to suggest the officer's conduct could have contributed to her death. The parents plan to appeal the dismissal, claiming that the Governmental Immunity Act of Utah is unconstitutional. It sounds like it fucking is. What kind of bullshit is that? Oh, there's this, you can't sue us if we fucking didn't.
Alright.
Amen.
This has been Louise.
This has been
This
the
has been
Weeds.
Louise.
We're done.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.